Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Paramagurubhyo Namaha. Namaskaram. My name is Malathi and I'm living in Frankfurt, Germany. I'm very thankful to Arohanam Germany for giving me this opportunity to talk to you all about the Varaha Avatara during their Nada Nivedanam 2025. Varaha Avatar is one of the avatars, one of the celebrated avatars of Lord Vishnu. And it started at the beginning of the Shweta Varaha Kalpa, the current Kalpa that we are all living in. It starts with Brahmaji wanting to create after the Pralaya. He first creates his Manasika Putras, the 4 Sanat Kumaras, and then he goes about creating the rishis such as Brihu, Pulastya, Atri, Vamadeva, Vasishta, and some more, I think 7 or 9 in number. And then he starts creating the Prajapatis. The very first one is called the Manu. And then he also creates Shatarupa and he says, you two marry and go live on earth and procreate and create more people. As he says that, and he gives a lot of instructions to Manu as to what needs to be done, and he tells them to go. Manu looks down to find the earth to be missing. And he tells Brahmaji, the Chaturmukha Brahma, you have now told me to go to the earth and I'm so willing to do that, but I don't find Bhuma Devi there. What am I supposed to do? Where do I find her? And Brahmaji also was shocked to find Bhuma Devi missing. And through his powers, he finds that the earth has been hidden in the deep ocean of the Garbhodaka waters or the Pralaya Jala in the Patala Loka. And he prays to Lord Vishnu. He says, this is outside my realm of Brahmaloka, and only Lord Vishnu, who's the protector of this universe, can help us. So saying, he goes into a deep tapasya, and even as he was doing it, something came out from his nose. It was so small, in the form of a boar, with 2 tusks pointing upward. Even as they were watching in wonderment as to what this is, that little boar grew to the size of a thumb. And then it grew to the size of a lion, and then it grew to the size of an elephant, and it became so huge that it was gigantic. Now, normally we would think that the Trivikrama Avatara or the Vamana Avatara, where the Lord measured the 3 lokas with his 3 feet. But here, if you see, probably many of you would have seen in many temples for Varaha Swami, or even at the cave temple at Mahabalipuram, or many sculptures in Khajuraho temple, you have the sculpture of Varaha Swami, you would have seen some pictures where Bhuma Devi in the form of a ball was placed on his nose between these 2 tusks. It was like a small mole on his nose. If the earth, with all the diameter, about 12,000 kilometers in diameter, is shown as a mole on Varaha Swami's nose, imagine the size. He was gigantic. And with that, he roared. He roared, and it caused such tremors in the universe. But the sages and rishis knew the purpose of his avatara, and they were so happy to see him so. And they sang eulogies in his name. And Varaha Swami, he first rose in the air, and then he went straight down into the oceans. He swam, and with his tusks, he was also piercing through the ocean. And finally, he found Bhuma Devi, and he lifted her put her between the 2 tusks, and he brought her up the ocean. As he was about to leave her there, Hiranyaksha, the Asura, came inviting him for a fight. Seeing that Bhuma Devi was trembling with fear, he ignored Hiranyaksha, took her to her position in the orbit, placed her there, gave her some his energy. He energized Bhumi and left her in her place and came back to fight with Hiranyaksha. Now, who is Hiranyaksha? There is a backstory to that. Now, one day, as Vishnu was in his abode at Vaikunta, the Brahma's Manasika Putras, the Sanakadi brothers, Sanat Kumaras, they wanted to have darshan of Vishnu. Now, the Sanakadi rishis have been doing tapasya for a long time, and they have like a free visa to roam around the universe. And they walked into the Vaikunta to see Vishnu. And as they were about to enter his abode, he was stopped by the Dwarapalakas at Vaikunta. Now, there are 4 sides to his abode, the north, south, east, and west. And this was the western side that the Sanat Kumaras entered. And there we had the Dwarapalakas Jaya and Vijaya blocking them from entry. And they tried to explain that they are there to visit, to see Vishnu, but they were refused entry. And this enraged these Sanat Kumaras, and they cursed him. What you have shown now is out of arrogance and your ego, and you are not fit to be in the Vaikunta, which is a very sattvic place. You will now be born on earth, and that is the right place for you to show your arrogance. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that we are all endowed with this very lovely qualities of kama, krodha, lobha, mata, matsarya, all that we are supposed to shed and cultivate good qualities. So, having cursed the Jaya Vijaya so, they were also upset and angry about this. And in all this commotion, Vishnu comes out with one hand over Garuda and holding a lotus on the other hand. And as he comes out, the Sanat Kumara, seeing Vishnu so, were terrified that they have done something wrong by cursing the Jaya Vijaya, who are Vishnu's ardent devotees. And the Jaya and Vijaya, seeing that Vishnu has come, they thought that they had made a mistake by not letting Sanat Kumaras enter. Now, as the two parties were scared, not knowing what to do, Vishnu, who knew what had happened, apologized profusely to the Sanat Kumaras. You are my bhaktas, and I shower a lot of love on my bhaktas, and these Jaya Vijayas, they have not allowed you to enter, and I think they deserve this curse. So saying, he said, you have done the right thing by cursing them. Hearing that, the Jaya Vijaya was shocked. They said, what do we do now? We don't want to be born there. We don't want to leave you and go anywhere. And then Vishnu said, the Sanat Kumara said, the curse once given cannot be retracted. So Vishnu himself gave an option. He said, okay, now that the curse has been given, you want to get out of it, there are only two options. One is you go be born on the Bhuloka for 7 janmas, and then after that you come back to me. Or you take 3 janmas, during which time you will be so evil, you will have all the asuric qualities that would ensure that you always hate me. You would be uttering everything that would bring hatred in people, and you would also hate me to the core. And after these 3 births, after these 3 lives, you will come back to me. The Jaya Vijaya said, no, we don't want 7 births. We will just take these 3. And so saying, they decided that this is the best option for them. And so they were to be born. Now, this Varaha Purana, Varaha Avatara, a small break, Varaha Avatara finds mention in many Puranas, like the Vishnu Purana, the Padma Purana, the Brahmanda Purana, and very importantly in the Srimad Bhagavata Purana. Even the Rig Veda, the Taittiriya Samhita, also mentions of a boar going into the Pralaya Jala to bring the earth back. Varaha Avatara is also, like all the other avatars, happened because God wanted to destroy adharma and bring dharma back, and also to retrieve the earth so that the creation can happen and many lives could be born on this earth. Now, Jaya and Vijaya are waiting for their birth to happen. Now, as Brahmaji started creating, he also created a rishi called Kashyapa. Kashyapa has had a wife, Diti, and Diti one evening suddenly decides that she wants to have baby, and she invited Kashyapa to grant her that. And Kashyapa said, this is not the time for such activities, as the Rudradeva would be going around this universe at this time with his Bhutaganas, and it is considered very inauspicious for a man and woman to get together at this time. But Diti Devi would not listen. She insisted, and Kashyapa gave in, and soon she was pregnant. As she was pregnant, the entire universe was engulfed in darkness, and she was very scared, and she went to Kashyapa and asked what's happening. And he told her, this is what has happened. I warned you, but now nothing can be done, and you have to bear the 2 kids. It was to be twins. And she nurtured those the children in her womb for 100 years, and the kids were born. And Kashyapa named them as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Both of them were very strong, their bodies like steel, and they had taken boons from Brahmaji to make them invincible. They said that no human on the earth or the Devas should kill us. And Brahmaji granted them the boons, and this made them even more arrogant. So much so to think that they were gods and everybody should worship them. Hiranyaksha would invite anyone and everyone he sees to have a fight with his mace, and he went to the Indraloka to fight with Indra, and all the devas became very scared of him, and they hid themselves somewhere, and not finding anyone to fight with him, he went into the oceans, and he swam for some time until he reached Vaibhavapuri, the abode of Varuna, and there he invited Varuna for a fight. Now Varuna was trembling, but still he very smartly said, I am not your equal. When you have a fight, you must fight with equals. And so saying, he said, you better go and fight with Vishnu. As Hiranyaksha was, he took his mace and he swam to the shore. He came above the water, and as he was going there, Narada Muni came in front of him and asked him, where are you going? Now he said, I'm going to fight Vishnu because I can't find an equal who can fight with me. I believe he is the right person to fight with me. And Narada said, he's there. He's taken the avatar of Varaha. I think it's better you go and fight him, and you will find a good match in him. So saying, Narada left, and Hiranyaksha goes to the top of ocean, and there he sees Varaha. And he starts hurling a lot of abuses on Varaha. Varaha Muni doesn't listen to any of that, and he just, like I said, he goes up to place Mother Earth in her position, and he comes back and he fights with it's a Gada Yuddha between the two of them. They fight for a long time, apparently 1,000 years, and at the end of it, he pushes him down and crushes his chest with his leg, and with his hand, he hits him below his ear. It's called the Karnamula. And as he hits him, Hiranyaksha falls dead. And as he's falling, he gets the complete darshan of Varahaswami. And what a bhagyam that is, to get the darshan of the protector of the universe as you're dying. He also gets the sparshan of Varahaswami as he was dying. And he died. He was later to be born as, this happened in the Treta Yuga. He will then be born as Kumbhakarna and Dantavaktra. This is the story of Varahaswami, and he, like I said, had taken avatara to establish dharma and to bring the earth back so that the creation can continue. It has a lot of significance in the cosmology, according to Sanatana Dharma. Now, listening to this story has a lot of phala, which is also mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavata Purana. Listening to the avatara of Sri Varahaswami gives a lot of punya. It gives you maha punya, means to be able to listen to the avatara itself will happen only if you have accumulated so much punya. On top of that, if you are going to listen to the story, you will accumulate a whole lot of punya. This also gives another phala of removing a whole lot of sins, the papa, including the Brahmahati dosha. It is able to grant you a lot of wealth, dhanam, dhanyam, pashuputra labham, all of that, and health, wealth. It can give you the strength and valor to be able to tide over or face the challenges with a brave heart. It will make you pavitram. It means it will remove all the impurities in a person listening to this. So it has a whole lot of benefits in listening to this excellent story of the Varahaswami. And I once again thank you for listening to this patiently, and a heartfelt thanks to the Arohanam group for making this possible. Namaskaram.